These are the 5 sister ships that were built in Germany from the same designs. The Eagle was built in 1936. The first one was Goisfork 1, built in 1933, Eagle in 1936, Sagres, which is coming from Portugal, in 1937, and the Mercia in 1938. Again, the first 4 were all built before World War II in Germany as sailing school ships to train merchant marine and naval officers for the German Navy. As Germany emerged before the unification, Western Germany, in 1958, they decided their economy was back, so they built Goisfork 2 in 1958. Goisfork 2 is the sail training vessel of the present German Navy, and she's a sister ship of the Eagle. Sister ships are vessels of basically the same length and the same rigging, 2 masts with square sails and gaff rig on the stern mast. The largest vessel coming has been to Boston in prior sail Bostons. This is the Libertad. Again, this shot is of the Libertad coming into Boston Harbor. She's a full rig ship, 360 feet in length. She was built in 1956 in Spain, and she's 356 feet in length and is really quite nice. She trains future officers for the Argentine Navy, and her home port is Buenos Aires, Argentina. Again, Libertad holds the distinction of winning the Boston Teapot Prize for transatlantic speed. She left New York back in the 60s in front of a Bermuda High, set her sails, and arrived in England in record time. And it was, she won the Teapot Trophy for this adventure, but the fact is that it was very poor sailing because nobody would go up and take the sails in. Cisne Branco was built in 1999 and 2000 and is a clipper ship. But the story behind it is that in 1998, the Dutch began building the Stad Amsterdam as a clipper ship. The Dutch wanted a vessel that sort of reflected the great Dutch maritime history. Now, we know from Boston and from Cape Ann that clipper ships actually came from Massachusetts. They were the great innovation of Mackay and all of the shipbuilders here in the early 1850s. The Dutch started to build iron plate clippers in the late 1850s. And so when the Dutch started to build a new clipper ship, they took their designs from the 19th century and started building the Stad Amsterdam. The Brazilian Navy was looking for a vessel to be a sail training vessel for their Navy. They saw the lines of Stad Amsterdam as she was being built. They saw her design. They told the Dutch, if you build an exact duplicate and finish it by the year 2000, we'll pay cash. And so this vessel started to be built after Stad Amsterdam and was completed before Stad Amsterdam in Amsterdam so that it could fulfill that contract. It was built in sections and they welded them together. Now, one of the more popular vessels that we all know is the tall ship Bounty, and she used to be known as the HMS Bounty, but now she flies the American flag. She's been based in Greenport, New York, but now I believe she's out of Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. But she's called Tall Ship Bounty because she flies the American flag. Capitan Miranda is from Uruguay. She had a very specific mission to, basically map the country of Uruguay. She completed that by about World War II, and then after World War II was converted to a sailing vessel for the Uruguayan Navy. But she trains future officers now for the Uruguayan Navy. We all here still? Yeah. We'll go quickly now. We got through the major ones. Belle Espoir is an interesting vessel. She's a Baltic trader that was built in 1944 in Denmark in the very famous shipyard of Ring Anderson, one of the last vessels to come out of that yard in the 40s. She's a topsail schooner, but now she operates out of Brest, France. And she operates with a group of a school that's dedicated to working with addicted and adjudicated youth. So she has quite a crew. In 2007, when they sailed across Atlantic, this group of kids that had been troubled kids, they got to Norfolk, Virginia, and then suddenly the announcement came off as the ships were coming into the port in Norfolk that 5 members of the crew of Belle Espoir had been arrested. Everybody got upset. And then it was discovered they were arrested by the harbor police because when they arrived in American waters, 5 of the crew members from France went skinny dipping off the vessel and got arrested for public nudity in the harbor.